All right, let's go ahead and get started today. My name is Justin Fishaw. I'm the Director of Content and Social here at DigitalSherpa. I want to thank everybody for registering and attending today. I know we did it at an unusual time for us, right around lunchtime, but I was hoping we can give you guys a time slot that you can maybe check in and learn some things on your lunch hour. Today's webinar is going to run about 35 to 40 minutes with time at the end to answer some questions. So as questions come up and you have some ideas, something you may want some clarification on or just a question in general, head to the GoToWebinar control panel under questions and go ahead and enter it. And then at the end, we'll go through and answer as many questions as we can. Today, I'm very excited about our guest. Today, we have Sarah Zeldman, who you may know as the e-marketing maven, which is one of my personal favorite professional monikers. Sarah brings 10 years of awesome marketing and social media experience, and she really specializes in working hand in hand with businesses, that are new to this whole digital world and this digital marketing kind of world that we live in. So I really think you guys are really going to love her and the information that she's presenting today. So again, if you missed the two earlier announcements, grab your worksheets, jot down some questions, and enjoy today's presentation. Sarah, hand it over to you.
Thank you, Justin. You can hear me?
Yep,
we're
good?
All right,
yep.
Good. So let's get going. So, hi, I'm Sarah Zeldman, the e-marketing maven, and I am thrilled to be here today talking about how health and wellness practitioners can use social media to promote their practices, because I am a huge fan of holistic medicine. Seriously, in my eyes, you guys are rock stars. I really believe that Western medicine is great in emergency, life-threatening situations, but when it comes to maintaining health or dealing with chronic health challenges, I think that a gentle, holistic approach is often best, or should at least be explored before drugs or surgery. But here's the thing. I understand that you probably became a holistic practitioner because you want to help heal the world one person at a time, and not because you want to be an expert at marketing your practice. In fact, marketing your practice probably makes you feel a little bit like this guy. Ugh. And yet, you still have to get a steady stream of patients coming through the door month after month. After all, you can't make a difference if you can't make a living. And that's why I'm here today, because I really believe that when you use social media properly, it will help you accomplish both goals at the same time. You can help people on their healing journey and help to heal the world, while also filling your practice and achieving your business objectives. After all, you can only help your patients so much when they're in your office. A large part of their healing process will be making lifestyle changes between your sessions, like changes to their diets or their exercise habits, or the way they deal with stress. And yet, studies show that patients forget more than 50% of what they're told when they're in the doctor's office. And then what happens when they get home? Well, in addition to turning to Google for general information, studies show that they also turn to their online social networks for recommendations and referrals. So you should be there too. You can be on social media providing the tips, tools, and the motivation that your patients need as gentle reminders, reinforcing your relationship with them, and you can be attracting new patients at the same time. And yes, this stuff really does work to help your patients and help build your practice. According to various surveys, 40% of people say that the information they find on social media affects the way that they deal with their health. So shouldn't you be providing that information? 41% of people say that social media affects their choice of a specific doctor, hospital, or medical facility. And I don't think that it's too far of a stretch to include complementary doctors in that as well. And 31% of healthcare professionals use social media for professional networking, which demonstrates another useful aspect of social media. In addition to helping your patients and attracting new ones. You can be collaborating with your peers and networking with potential sources of referrals. And believe me, I can go on and on with statistics like these that show how effective social media marketing can be for you. But for now, I just wanted to show you some evidence that this stuff works to motivate you to use social media to help your clients and help you attract more patients to your practice. But I know that even if you really understand that social media can help you help your patients and grow your practice, it still may make you feel like this lady, kind of overwhelmed by all of the options. There's Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube and, oh my gosh, Pinterest and Google Plus, and you don't know where to start. I see this a lot. And in addition to the overwhelm about all the different sites, I know that you're probably concerned about the time it will take both to learn the new technology and the time it will take to actively use the social media sites on a regular basis. I mean, you don't want to end up like this guy, right? You have a practice to run, people to help, and a life to live. But I know that it doesn't have to be that way. I have seen that when any kind of business owners, even holistic practitioners and their staff, are guided through the process of learning how to strategically use social media to grow their business or their practice, most people can learn to integrate it into their routine. Just like we all got used to checking our voicemail and replying to our email. With a little bit of strategic planning, social media really doesn't have to take up so much time. Once you're clear about your goals, you're familiar with the technology, and you've got a plan, you can learn to get in, get out, and get on with your day. But one of the reasons why people find that social media takes so much time is because they don't understand how to use it, and they don't have a plan. And unfortunately, they end up looking like this lady, saying, great, I've set up my account, I've got some likes or followers or connections. Now what do I do to promote my business? And pretty soon they're off chatting with their cousin or playing Farmville. You know who you are. And after seeing this challenge with many of my students and clients, I came up with a 3-step formula for promoting your business on any social media site. I use this formula whenever I teach my step-by-step classes or do training at people's offices or via screen sharing. I show exactly how to do it on each site, click by click. But for today, we don't have the time to go into the details of each site. So I'm just going to teach you the essence of the 3-step formula with some examples from other successful health and wellness practitioners, with a few bonus tips and tools thrown in too. So here it goes. If you ever feel like this lady and you don't know what to do on social media to promote your business, just remember these 3 little words. Post, share, mingle. No matter what site you're on, unless you're doing a very specific contest or event, you're always doing one of these 3 things on social media to maintain your account. You're always either posting your own content, sharing other people's content, or mingling, starting and jumping into conversations. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit about each of these critical activities, not only so that you can understand them, but so that you can start to create a strategic plan around these ideas and simplify your social media marketing. So let's start with the first step, posting your own content. When it comes to what to post, I see one common mistake. I'm not too worried about it with this audience, but I thought I should mention it just in case it's a block for you. The biggest mistake that I see with posting is that people think of social media as a place to post ads, as if it were a newspaper or a TV commercial or like an open air market where you could go hawk your wares. But really, you don't want to be this guy. If all you do is broadcast advertising messages about your practice, you're going to be very disappointed by the results that you get on social media. Promoting your business with social media is more like walking into a cocktail party or a barbecue or a networking meeting. You would never go into this group of people, go up to someone and launch right into a sales pitch about how you can help them feel better or your practice. You wouldn't do that. You would go up to someone and try to make a personal connection first. And that's what you want to do on social media. You want to make a connection with the people who are using social media, the people behind the computers. And doing that involves a combination of technology, psychology, and strategy that I'm going to show you. So when it comes to what to post, you have to get inside the mind of your target customer and figure out what interests them related to what you have to offer. Now, before you even think about what to post, you have to get clear on who your target customer is. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Sarah, I can help everyone. I don't want to limit myself by picking one or two kind of target customers, but I'm going to ask you to trust me here. When you try to market your services to everyone, you end up connecting with very few people, especially on social media. But when you speak to a specific group of people and address their needs and concerns and provide solutions to their problems, you will naturally attract people outside of your target market. People will ask you, oh, can you help me too? To which, of course, you can respond, yes, of course I can help you as well. So I want you to give some thought to your target customer. Think about the kinds of people that come to you regularly. Or if you're just getting started, think about the kinds of people that you want to treat, but just make sure that they have the income to be able to afford you. So when you've identified a few kinds of people that either you want to treat or that seem to come to you regularly, try to identify the characteristics they have in common. Are they the same gender? Are they the same age group? Do they have the same common complaint? And once you've identified groups of people, then you want to really try to understand and articulate the challenges that they're facing. And then when it comes to what to post, you want to have a picture of those people in your mind and follow the 80-20 rule that I learned from Facebook expert Amy Porterfield. 80% of what you post should be inspiring, educational, empowering, or entertaining to your target customer, rather than about what you have to offer and your practice all the time. These relationship building posts will help to serve as gentle reminders to your patients and help you reach new ones. They'll help keep you and your practice top of mind. And when you're top of mind, you're on the tip of someone's tongue when they're ready to make a purchase or refer you to a friend. So then if you inspire, educate, empower, or entertain your customers 80% of the time, then you can post your promotional content 20% of the time, and your audience will notice it and support you by engaging with those posts and taking advantage of what you have to offer. So the question is, how do you figure out what will be inspiring, educational, empowering, or entertaining to your target customer? Well, I broke it down into a few steps. The first thing you want to do is generate a list of at least 3 to 5 topics that would be interesting to your target customer related to what you have to offer. This is where you could post the tips, reminders, inspiration, and tools that will help your patients change their lifestyle. This should be easy for you because I know that you want to help people improve their lives. Just make sure it's not always directly about what you have to offer, or it'll get boring. For example, let's say that you're a traveling corporate massage therapist and your target market are busy female executives. Sure, you can post about massage, the benefits of massage, maybe different kinds of massage, but you can also post other help tips for your clients, like ideas for healthy meals on the go, quick exercise tips, or articles about stress relief and life balance. So I challenge you to get really clear about your target customer and come up with 3 to 5 topics to post about that are related to your practice that would interest your target customer. Then, once you've decided on the topics, it's time to consider the style of your posts. There are 3 different styles of social media posts: text, post, images, and videos, and I'm going to briefly show them to you. Text-based posts like these, they're the easiest to create because it's just a matter of typing. And here I have a list of the different kinds of text-based posts you could create about your company. You could do quotes, tips, thoughts or observations, like this funny one: screw the scale, don't even bother stepping on it. This journey is about your health. All the scale has to offer you is a number. That number does not define you. You can post about events you're attending, like this one from a local Reiki practitioner. Exciting to be attending and speaking at the chamber party at the Toastmasters Club today. Looking forward to seeing all my peeps. Posting like that can help you make a connection with the people that are going to be there. You'll be surprised. People will get on and say, oh, I'm going to be there, and you create a connection before you even arrive. You can also post your opinions about different subjects related to what you have to offer. You can do updates and announcements about your practice. You can, with your client's permission, do case studies or showcase your client's results. You could talk about breaking industry news or ask engaging questions. Now, these are just a few ideas for text posts. Of course, there are more, but I figured this list would help you get started. Next, there are image-based posts like these real-life pictures from this Healthy Cookie Academy on the left, or this friendly reminder from a naturopathic doctor to try coconut for better skin, hair, and nails. You can also post cartoons like this one from naturalnews.com. And of course, you can post text-based images like these. Your social media plan should include images because they really stand out on social media and they usually get a lot more engagement than text-based posts. And as a little bonus, on your outline is a list of sites where you can make these kinds of images quickly and easily. And then finally, there's video. Video is a powerful way to get some attention on social media. Just remember to keep it short, 3 minutes or less. There are many kinds of simple, inexpensive videos that you can make about your business that don't require special equipment or anything fancy. You could do a demonstration like this video on how to make a green smoothie tasty every time. You could do a talking head video where you answer questions that people ask you all the time about your business or your products or your services. Like this chiropractor did a video on what's that popping sound when I crack my neck, and it got over 60,000 views in its first year. And I've seen the same results happen with just a plain white background, so you really don't need anything fancy. You can do a slideshow video with pictures set to music using a website like animoto.com. You can do a fun behind the scenes reality style video where you show people how you work with clients or how you make your product, or just you and your staff doing something fun at the office. People really appreciate these kinds of connecting videos. And of course, humor is always good. For a great example of a funny low-cost video, you can go look up the Dollar Shave Club's video. It went totally viral because it was just so funny, and it's a great piece of inspiration for something that you could do. So once you've gotten clear on the topics and the styles of your posts, the next thing to do is to create a list of sources for your posts. Maybe you have articles that you've already written or speeches that you've given that you can recycle into posts. Or maybe there are some industry websites or magazines that you can check regularly to get ideas and content for your posts. It's really helpful to make a list of these sources in advance so you'll always know where to go for information and inspiration. And then, once you've gotten clear about the topics, the styles, and the sources of your posts, of course, you want to make sure that your audience gets engaged. No, not that kind of engaged. I'm just making sure you're paying attention. It's really important to create posts that are engaging. And by engaging, what I really mean is that people interact with your posts by liking them, commenting on it, sharing them, retweeting, repinning, or plus oneing it. Generally speaking, the more people engage with your content, the more your content will spread on social media. And studies across the board show that the more people engage with your content, the more likely they are to spend money with you. So there's an art and a science to creating engaging posts that I teach in my step-by-step classes and to my clients. We don't have time to go into the whole art and science now, but I did gather just a couple of tips from the classes into this one slide. So to make your post more engaging, you can ask people to like it if they agree with it. For example, this post from Carnival Cruise says, like this if you wish you were on deck tomorrow. Well, who doesn't wish they were on deck tomorrow? It got over 5,000 likes. You can also ask people to caption your picture, like this funny picture in the lower right. You can also ask an engaging question, like this one. If your life were a feature film, which one would it be? These questions help to get people commenting and respond and boost your engagement and then help your content spread. You can also ask for feedback on an idea for your practice or a service that you want to offer. People love to share their opinions. So these are just a few ways that you can make your posts more engaging. So once you've decided the topics that you want to post about, the styles of your post, text-based post, images, or video, and you get clear on the sources for your posts, and then you use some simple ideas to create more engaging posts, all of these relate to the 80% of posts that are inspiring, educational, empowering, or entertaining, and that will create a connection with your target customer. But once you've done that, you also want to plan your promotional posts to remind people of what you have to offer. So don't be afraid to offer a discount to new patients for an initial visit, like this chiropractor did, or remind people to come up to sign up for your upcoming event, like this Reiki class. And you can also do a whisper code, such as this one, and do something like call us to say, saw you on Facebook and get a 10% discount on your next visit, or some other incentive that you want to offer. So these are just a few ideas for promotional posts. I'm sure you can think of more. Promotional posts are usually the easy ones. So once you've gotten clear about the topics, the styles, the sources of your posts, and how you're going to make them engaging, and how you're going to promote your products and services, now it can all come together into a post rotation like this one. On Monday, I'm going to post a tip about nutrition or exercise. On Tuesday, I'm going to post a picture of me and my staff working in the office. On Wednesday, I'm going to post a healthy, energizing recipe. On Thursday, I'm going to do a link to a great health article, and on Friday, I'm going to do my promotional posts. And of course, you don't just have to do one per day. Very often you want to do more than one per day, but the point is you can decide the topics and styles in advance and the sources, and with a little bit of forethought and establishing a schedule like this, it makes your social media management much easier for you or to delegate among the members of your staff. And with tools like this, Hootsuite, Post Planner, or TweetDeck, you can even create your posts a week or a month in advance and schedule them to appear when you want. And the great thing is that if you plan your posts in advance or schedule them to appear when you want, or even better, if DigitalSherpa is creating the post for you, then all you have to do is show up on social media a couple of times a week to share what you find there and mingle, which brings me to the next step in the three-step formula. Remember that posting is just one part of the three-step process. And don't worry, that's the part that's the most complicated and it requires the most planning. So from here on in, it's much simpler. So next we're going to talk about sharing other people's content. Sharing happens in two ways on social media. Either you share a great post that you find when you're on the site, like this one on Facebook that I found. This is a children's hospital where the window washers dress up like superheroes. And here I shared it right to my page. Or you can find great articles and resources on the internet and share links to them on your social media account. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, why should I share other people's content? Doesn't that defeat the purpose of being on social media to promote my business? Don't I want to send visitors to my website, not to others? But the answer is no. Sharing resources is part of the culture of social media, and it shows that you're an upstanding member of the social media community. Also, when you share helpful articles or video, it can help to position you as a valuable resource to your target audience. But even better, it helps to take a lot of the burden of content creation off of you. If sharing is part of your social media routine, you don't have to constantly come up with new creative posts all the time. And when it's done correctly, it can show that you are an expert in your field and on the cutting edge of your field. But it's all in how you do it. In these posts, all I'm doing is sharing links to content that other people created, but I always take an extra minute to write an introduction to the article. I always get inside the head of my target customer and tell them exactly why they're going to find these links helpful or interesting. Like this one at the bottom. Want to create a social media policy for your business or organization, but you don't know where to start? You'll find lots of policies to model here. The way that I introduce the article helps to establish me as a friendly, knowledgeable, helpful expert. And I know that this works because I get compliments and clients from the resources I share, and my clients report the same results. But don't worry, you don't have to spend hours looking for content to share or do a lot of cutting and pasting. There are tools that you can use to make this process faster and easier. For example, you can have the latest posts and articles on any subject sent right to your email inbox every day with sites like Google Alerts and Social Mention. Just put in a word or phrase and your email address, check the results on the side to make sure it's what you want, and then click Create Alert, and every day you'll get an email that has plenty of good articles for you to share on social media. And here's a tool that will make sharing even easier. When you sign up for Buffer at bufferapp.com, you can set up the times of day that you'd like to post and drag this icon to your browser bar. Then, when you find a great article to share, you don't even have to leave that article to post it somewhere else. Just press this button and this screen will pop up. And then you can choose to post it to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or any combination, and write your introduction here. Then you can go down here and either post it right away or add it to your Buffer app to post at the next pre-scheduled time. I know lots of people whose social media routine mostly consists of checking their email from Google Alerts in the morning, finding some good articles to share, and loading up their Buffer to post throughout the day. So it looks like they're on social media all day, but they're not. They share lots of great content, and then they show up on the social media site a few times a week to do some original posts and some mingling, which brings us to the final step in the three-step formula. And to me, this is the fun part. Posting and sharing is all well and good, and it's important, but if all you do is post and share, it's as if you came to this networking meeting, left your business card on the front table, and then walked out the door. If that's what you do, you're probably not going to get any business from that networking meeting, right? Well, it's the same thing on social media. In order to generate leads and sales, you have to be bold and jump into the conversations. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here's what that looks like on Twitter. On Twitter, you look for opportunities to reply to people's tweets. Oops, computer's a little stuck here. Not sure what happened there. All right, there we go. Give me 1 second. Couple of technical difficulties here. We'll get back in the swing of things. Go back to this. There we are. On Twitter, you look for opportunities to reply to people's tweets. For example, okay, forgive me. I'm hearing music in the background, and I have no idea where that's coming from. Are you hearing that? I'm going to ignore it and...
Okay. Yeah, go on. No big deal. We'll get rid of it.
Please forgive me. I have no idea. That is a mystery. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, moving right along. Talk about a blooper. All right, So you look for opportunities to reply to people's tweets. For example, here, I noticed one of my colleagues tweeted, "Today's my 10th anniversary as an online solopreneur." So I tweeted back, "Mazel tov, congrats to Kelly McCausey on her 10th anniversary as an online solopreneur." Another way to jump into or start a conversation is to ask a question of an industry leader. But the challenge that a lot of people face when I say this is because often they're looking at their main Twitter feed and they don't find anything to reply to, which is why I recommend that you organize the people that you're following. This is the main Twitter feed. You organize the people that you're following into Twitter lists. You can create lists of your clients and prospects or even local journalists or organizations to mingle with, so that once they're organized into a list, when you go and click on one of these lists, you have a much more focused, targeted newsfeed. Like, these are people, only people that live in my city. So your conversations could be a lot more focused. So then you look for tweets to reply to or to retweet. And that's how you jump into conversation. On Facebook and LinkedIn, it looks a little bit different, and I just want to show you that. On Facebook or LinkedIn, like it's pictured here, you can like, comment on, or share a post. Now, you may not think much of this when you do it, but for your current patients, it really does help you stay top of mind. And for your prospects and potential referral partners, it really can help to make a connection. In fact, I always want to say that if you get on someone's radar, like by liking, commenting, or sharing their post 3 or 4 times within the span of 14 days, that's a good way to go about establishing a connection. Here's why it works. Even if they're not on social media at the time, the next time that they log in, they'll be notified of your activity on their posts. And what generally happens is, the first time you like or share or comment on their post, they'll notice you. The second time, they're going to get curious. But by the third time, they're probably going to check out your profile. And by the fourth time, they're going to invite you to connect if they haven't already. Now, you do want to space it out over 10 to 14 days, like I said, so you don't look like a stalker. But this really works because, just like in real life, when you show an interest by engaging with people, by engaging with what they're posting, it can start and deepen relationships. Because just like in real life, when you express an interest in someone else, you become interesting to them. This works especially well if you just met someone at a networking event and then connect with them on social media the next day. But it even works even if you've never met in person. You'll start to build rapport with them and stay top of mind without ever picking up a phone to make a phone call. But you can also sense when the time is right to take the relationship further with an email or a phone call or an in-person visit. And in this way, mingling on social media can help you create real-world relationships that generate leads, referrals, and sales. But of course, liking, commenting, and sharing is not the only way to mingle. Each social media site has its own unique ways of mingling. So on Twitter, you could use the advanced search feature to find people in your neighborhood who are looking for what you have to offer right now. On Facebook, you can use Facebook as your page and regularly interact with other non-competing complementary businesses to take advantage of the overlap in your fan base. A naturopath, for example, could like, comment, and share on the post of a massage therapist page. And you can also just mention and tag other professionals in your post, like in the example here. In this way, you get exposed to their audience without being spammy. You can also join and network in LinkedIn groups, but let me give you a little tip about that. LinkedIn will suggest to you the groups of your peers, the groups of other holistic practitioners. But that's great for professional networking, but it really is not going to help you build your practice, generally speaking. So you want to go where your target customers are hanging out. So if your target customers are baby boomers, then hang out in a group where baby boomers are likely to be, not so much in the group for holistic practitioners. And there are other ways to mingle. On Pinterest, you have group pin boards, and on Google Plus, you have communities and hangouts. Each social media site has its own unique way to mingle beyond even what I've listed here. So the point here is that I just want you to get clear about the methods that you're going to use for mingling on a regular basis. Now, so that covers all 3 steps in the 3-step formula: posting your own content, sharing other people's content, and mingling, jumping and starting and starting and jumping into conversations. But of course, there are other ways you can use social media to promote your practice. You can do contests and campaigns and ads. But the 3-step post, share, mingle formula is the foundation. These are the activities you want to be doing on a regular basis to have an active and effective social media presence that will help you stay connected to your current clients and attract new ones. So now that you know the 3-step formula, you're never going to look like this lady again, because now you'll be able to accomplish your goals of helping people heal and filling your practice. Because now when you get on social media, you can say to yourself, today, I'm just going to post some health tips and reminders, or I'm going to create the post in advance and schedule them to post throughout the week. Or I don't have any tips to post today. I'm going to just look for something to share at my favorite sites and find some conversations to jump into. And then you can set a timer and get in, get out, and get on with your day. And remember that when you post, share, and mingle on a regular basis, even if you're not posting something that's directly promotional, it will help to establish you as a friendly, knowledgeable, helpful expert or company, and most importantly, it will help keep you top of mind. And as I said before, being top of mind means that you are on the tip of someone's tongue when they're ready for your help or when they're ready to recommend you to a friend. And we all want that. So if until now your social media strategy has looked like this, or if you've tried social media and you haven't gotten the results that you want, it would be my pleasure to help you further. Whether you come to my local hands-on social media workshops, or I come right to your office in the Greater Toronto area, or we meet virtually with the help of screen sharing technology, I always introduce you to the site of the day as if you've never seen it before, and I show you how it works for business. I guide you through setting up an optimized account and answer all of your technical questions about how to use the site. And then I show you exactly, click by click. Annie really wants to sing today. This is so funny. Okay, well, anyway, so I help you set up an optimized account and answer all of your technical questions about how to use the site. And then I show you exactly, step by step, click by click, how to build your audience and how to post, share, and mingle on the site of the day. We go from start to setup to system in just 3 hours. Or if DigitalSherpa is taking care of the posting for you, I can just show you how to share and mingle. I've helped many people who describe themselves as clueless or technophobic to get set up and start actively using the social media site that they choose to promote their business. They hire me because they don't want to read books or sit through online videos about social media. And they tell me there's simply no substitute for having someone teach you click by click and be right there to answer your questions. So if you want to learn more about my custom training services, you can, or those workshops that I offer, you can visit my website at www.theemarketingmaven.com. And again, if you're in the Greater Toronto area, you can learn about my upcoming social media intensive series by clicking on that big blue banner there. And while you're there, you can also sign up to get my free ebook, How to Master Social Media Marketing in a Minimum Amount of Time, which goes over a lot of what we discussed today and more. When you sign up to get this and my website, you'll also be put on my email list to get social media tips and reminders about more seminars, workshops, and webinars. So that's what I have today, folks. I really hope that that was helpful. Thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties. Please feel free to stay in touch. Tweet me, like me, connect with me. I didn't want to put all the social media accounts here, so you can go to about.me/theemaven and you'll find links to all of them there. And now I'm here for questions, as long as little orphan Annie will keep quiet.
Thanks, Sarah. Very, very powerful stuff. The great thing about doing live presentations is you never really know what's going to happen technically on the computer.
We've
got, based on the questions and all the feedback we're getting, everyone really, really liked it. And I got a lot of questions here. I'm going to try to get through as many as we can. I'm going to start real quick here. Let's start with, let's see. Let's start with Mary. Mary asked, what would you say is the ideal number of Facebook posts per day and or per week?
Good question. Of course it does vary, and ideally I think 2 or 3 a day. I've seen some people say no, more, even more, but even up to 5 or 6 a day. There are a couple of answers to that. Number one is test and tweak. If you really want to find the ideal, then you do 2 or 3 for a month or 2 months and see how that goes, and then do 5 or 6 and see the results for yourself. But it also depends on how much you can handle and how much you can juggle, and are you doing these spontaneously in the spur of the moment? Are you going to be able to do it 2 or 3 times a day, or are you scheduling them in advance? If you're scheduling them in advance, then then take the extra time to do a few more, because generally speaking, more on Facebook does seem to work better, and that's especially true for Twitter as well. Did I answer that question? Are we going to go on to the next one?
No, that's perfect. Yeah, and I think it's like you said, it's really about measuring and seeing what works for your business and testing it all out. Let's stick with Facebook. We have a question from Sarah. What are your thoughts on promoted posts on Facebook?
Well, I think that you gotta do it now if you really want to make sure something gets seen, but I refuse to cry over it. I refuse to let my clients cry over it, because it is, or kvetch or moan or complain, because it really is extremely cost effective. If assuming that you know how to create a good engaging post and that you know how to target it, you're really only paying, if you target it well, you're really only paying for your perfect ideal customer to see it, and it can really be pennies on the dollar. And when you compare that to paying for advertising in a newspaper or radio or direct mail, it's just so extremely cost effective. But here's one tip I really want to give you. When you do a post and then underneath it says boost post, do not boost your post from there. Always, always, always use the advanced settings and go in and target that post really well. You can choose to show it to only men or only women of a certain age group with certain interests from a certain area. And when you do that, especially if you're targeting hyper locally, it can not only bring down the cost, but just make it so much more effective for you.
Great. And one shameless self-promotion plug here. I just finished a Facebook promoted post and paid Facebook ebook that has very similar tips that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. So if you are interested in that topic, everybody look out in your emails probably in about 2 weeks.
Great.
Ariana asks, what are the biggest mistakes businesses make when implementing a social media campaign?
Well, one of the biggest mistakes I spoke about in the presentation is just promoting all the time. Assuming you already know that, and maybe you want an answer that's a little bit deeper, other mistakes involve not being organized, not tracking their results. Yeah, I think those are the biggest ones, especially not tracking the results so that you can learn from what's working and what's not working, then do more of what is working and stop doing what's not working. It's really important to check those analytics on a regular basis. In fact, one thing that one way to really stay organized and stay on top of everything is to have a monthly social media strategy session where you take the analytics, you take the calendar for what's coming up in your business and what's coming up during the year, like, if it's the 4th of July, do you want to have a 4th of July sale? And you evaluate how it's going, and then you create the strategy for the post for the next month. And then on a weekly basis, you can, with that strategy in mind, you can create the post for a week or so, and then on a daily basis or every other day, show up and check in. So now you have a monthly, weekly, and daily routine.
Great. Fantastic. I've got a good one here from AE Outdoor Team Patio. It looks like it's a very common question we run across as well. Does the content across different social media sites need to be different, or can you post the same image, text, / video across all on the same day?
Oh gosh, I get this question all the time. You know what, Justin? I'm going to throw it over to you. I want to hear your answer and then see if it varies. I'm putting you on the spot.
My recommendation is every single social media site has a unique strategy that allows you to optimize your own strategies. So if I follow a business on Facebook and on Twitter, it does me no good to see their update on Facebook and then see the same exact update on Twitter. So if you're using a scheduling post and you have a strategy in place, I suggest when you're scheduling in advance, stagger your posts so you get maximum efficiency or maximum reach and engagement across different networks, because some networks are more fast-paced, like Twitter, right? The news feed's constantly going up and down, and if you're not on right now, you could miss what came on if you come back 10 minutes later. So I would go with a different strategy for each specific social network. And what I'll do, I'll make a note right here. And I think it's a very important topic, and like you said, you get a lot of questions. We get a ton of questions. When I send out the recording, along with the link to your ebook, I'm going to send a link to a blog post that we wrote that talks about how to best post to every single social network, and it'll give you a great social media strategy for each one of them.
That sounds great. I really do like your answer. In addition to staggering, what I always say is, first of all, the exact same post should not go out among the different networks. I mean, simply because, for example, with Twitter, you have a unique language there. So you do have to take the time, even if you're going to use the same concept for a post and the same link, let's say, you have to take the time to put the Twitter language in and shorten it up. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Generally speaking, to alleviate the pressure of the content creation on the business owner, I generally say if you want to use the same concept and just tweak them slightly, it's not a terrible idea. I love the idea of staggering too, but even that may be too much for overwhelmed business owners. I generally think if you want to use the same concept for a post and just tweak them slightly across the different, make the LinkedIn one a little more professional, make the Facebook one a little more casual, make the Twitter one in Twitter language, and put some mentions in there, then if you're releasing them all at the same time, very few people, except for social media geeks like me, are on all three networks at all the same time. And I think even if they see the same post once in a while across two networks, because let's say one's delayed, I really don't think it damages too much. The answer is really, you can automate some of your social media, but you don't want to completely automate the process and just put the same thing on all social networks.
Absolutely.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, social is about being human, and I think when you automate too much, you often come across as someone who looks like they're automating and they're not really paying attention to the content.
Right.
Okay, let's see, lots of questions here. We've got time for a couple more. Let's go with, okay, Steve's got a good question. Another very common question I'm sure you hear. It's about converting Facebook fans into actual customers. He's a mortgage loan officer, and he says he has a Facebook page that stinks. He wants to know how to convert those fans into, real dollars, real tangible results.
Well, the thing is that as a mortgage broker, you said, is that correct?
Mortgage loan officer.
Mortgage loan officer. I think part of the problem is the nature of the sales cycle, right? I mean, I guess it depends if people, um, I guess, do people get in touch with him on Facebook right when they're ready to go, or they probably like his page, and
Hmm.
then they may not be in the market quite yet. You know what? That's really like it's a very specific issue that I would have to really to give a really good answer. I'd have to look at his page, see what's going on. It could be a combination of factors, including the nature of the sales cycle, what he's posting, maybe he's not reaching enough people. But you know what? Maybe
I,
he can adapt a concept that I created for LinkedIn. When somebody sends me an invitation to connect on LinkedIn and I don't know them, I always accept it, and then I send back a message. The subject line says connecting dot dot dot, and then it says thank you for reaching out to connect with me here on LinkedIn. I go to their profile. I try to find something that I could connect with, like, oh, I see you're from New York, so am I. And if even if not, I always end up with, is there something I could help you with, or did you just want to stay connected for the future? So maybe test that out with a couple of people on Facebook who like the page. Oh, I saw you liked my page. Is there something I could, and look at their profile, mention something personal, say, is there something I could help you with, or did you just want to like the page for the future? See if that makes a little bit more of a personal connection. Of course, there are other strategies for turning likes into customers, but I'd have to look at it to really come up with some ideas.
it's a good answer. That's a great LinkedIn strategy. One more shameless self-promotion. We just released an ebook about this exact topic. Now, it'll vary from industry to industry, but it covers how, you can turn Facebook fans into customers. The first step is getting them to like your Facebook page, which brings them into your funnel, and we go more into more how to convert them. So DigitalSherpa.com has that download if you're interested, Steve. All right, we have time for one more, and I'm sorry, guys, we have a ton of questions here.
Yeah, wait, one more thing on that. Actually, the obvious thing, which I forgot to say, is that the next step is to get them into your email funnel, that when they like the
Right.
page, you give them something of value to get their email address, and then you take it from there. That's obviously the most, and then you have a really good email marketing strategy in place to convert email
Right.
into lead. Okay, next, one more
No,
question.
that was spot on. That was a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you determine which one. So I have a question about Google Plus, and I have a question about how to choose between Pinterest or Instagram. Which one would you like?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess Google Plus.
Okay. It's a good
Although
one. So I think
I'm
a
a
lot of
little
people.
wary because I can teach Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn in my sleep. I'm adding Pinterest now, and Google Plus is kind of the one that I'm not quite the top
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the person that asked that question, I'll reach out to you directly for an answer for, because I think I have a good answer for you. So let's talk about the other one then. So this is from Steve. He is a part of a furniture company, and he said, if you
Mhm.
had to choose between Pinterest or Instagram for my business, which would you choose?
Um, Generally speaking, I think Pinterest, because everything that I see says that Pinterest drives the most traffic and the most sales. People go there in a shopping mode. At the same time, I've heard anecdotally Instagram helping a lot of businesses that lend itself to a visual medium as well. I would definitely lean strongly toward Pinterest, but again, I tell you, test and tweak. Try both and see what works.
Absolutely. Great. Okay. So, like I said earlier, this webinar was recorded, and I will be sending it out probably within 24 hours once I get the video finished. I'll include a link to Sarah's ebook. I'll also include a link to that blog post I spoke of earlier. And I'll send it from my email address. So if you guys have any further questions, go ahead and reply to the email, and I'll try my best to answer them. If there's anything I can't answer, I'll just have to get Sarah involved if I need her expertise as well. So. Thank you,
Find me on
everybody.
social. Also, find me on social media
Yeah,
and ask questions as well. And I just want to take a moment to thank Digital Sherpa for inviting me to do this webinar today. It's been
we're
really
happy to have
terrific.
you. It was fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, you can tweet us questions, tweet Sarah questions, and we can keep the conversations going. Again, thank you
Yep.
everybody for attending today, and you'll receive an email from me within 24 hours. Okay? Everyone have a good day. Thank you.